Hi, everybody. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome back to the Heart and Hustle podcast. Today, we want to talk about the importance of culture inside of a company and building an environment in which you can actually work and play in with your employees and staff and everything else.
Yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about culture, a little bit about remote work and how that has impacted us over the last year. Lots of things to talk about.
Absolutely. And here we go.
So the big question is this. How are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle podcast.
So let's get into this today. I guess, based on the intro, what we're trying to talk about today is just really this issue with, I hate to say it, but remote workers and how it's, how'd you say, eroding what?
I'm starting to find new research that remote work is actually eroding trust in the workplace.
It's been eroding trust, I think, for a long time. I think it even started eroding trust before it even actually started.
Probably.
People always discount remote workers. I mean, the guy that works remote all day long, is he really working?
What is he doing?
What is he doing?
What's going on?
What is she doing all day long?
Is he even wearing pants?
I don't go there, but maybe you do.
No, not necessarily.
There you go. No, but seriously, it's been like that for years. Even back in my corporate world, you always had the guy that worked remote for the day or stayed at home with the kids or family or whatnot. And what are they doing? We have two remote workers in our company.
We do.
We do. We have a gentleman in Utah who lives on a mountaintop, gets his internet off a really high, pretty good bandwidth link off the side of a mountain. And another gentleman that's in
Nashville, Tennessee. In the heart of the city, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. That's where you're from.
Two different worlds.
Aren't you from Tennessee?
Definitely not.
You're only 10, I see, but whatever. Let's not go there. So anyways, again, this is Tom. This is Michaela. Welcome to the Heart and Hustle vlog podcast, whatever you want to call it here, just our life and what's kind of going on. But lately we've been talking a lot about remote workers and kind of how that impacts companies and organizations such as ours, maybe yours, companies that we deal with all day long, and really how it impacts leadership and how their organizations really struggle with the concept of remote workers.
I think since the beginning of 2020, it's all anybody's talking about is remote workers and how to do it and how not to do it and what's working and what's not working. And
correct.
People love it. People hate it. People want to go back to work. People don't want to go back to work. It's all over the board. I've talked a lot about this with a lot of the clients that I work with. Do we keep doing this? In some ways it's working, in some ways it's not. So
what are the top 2 or 3 reasons that it's not working for them?
I think it is breaking down culture a little bit. It's really hard to connect with somebody who's regularly working from home or working from another location. You just don't see each other every day.
Right.
You don't have that water cooler talk. You don't pass each other in the hallway as you're moving from office to office. Something about that physical presence is really, really strong. So that's one thing that's not working.
Do you think the leaders that you work with inside the HR world do they feel that more people are less productive or more productive at home?
I think there's probably quite a bit of question with most of the people I work with as to whether or not they are productive from home.
Right.
A lot of the clients I work with, it's not feasible for them.
Right.
Either they're production workers or they serve clients directly, or, there's just multiple reasons why it doesn't necessarily work practically. For the places that do, and they can work from home, it's kind of up, down, all around.
Right. Interesting. Not to feel weird, but does your mic feel like it's cutting out a little bit?
Does it sound like it's cutting out a little bit?
I don't know. You're kind of spacing out my ears. Oh, there you go again. Interesting.
I don't feel like I am, but.
Well, we're going to test this audio difficulty here. Maybe, hey, hang on. There we go. Oh, that much better. Kind of reboot the headphones. What's this thing?
This is all new to us. It's a learning experience. We're trying to figure this out.
I'm not quite sure. These Amazon products here. Expensive Amazon products, but what do you do? So yeah, I'm in the same way. It's like I have spent with some of the organizations that I have worked with on the technology side, years and sometimes over a decade in some of the banks. And financial side is preventing people from getting in from home, like
Absolutely.
strict policies and procedures on people not working from home.
I have
People
too.
like restricted from working from home.
Right.
And then on a fateful Tuesday, boom, everything changes.
Yeah.
And now everybody has to work from home.
Yeah.
And
How-
then
How do you restructure? How do you revamp your meetings? How do you revamp your policies?
right. And you have, 6 months later, you have auditors that come in, and I always kind of joke, but it's real deal. People in black cars, black suits that come in and say, hey, I want to audit your network and audit your infrastructure for people that are, trying to work from home from a security standpoint. And when you go your entire, decades of preventing it, now what do? Luckily, they had a plan in place just in the event that that happens. We always kind of made a joke is like, what happens if you walk in someday and there's yellow tape around your building, and what do? And you got to have that strategy. You got to have that plan in place, and you have to be able to turn on a dime. But that was the easy part. I think for me, and probably for you and for our clients, was the impact of their organizations and the people and the culture that happened, and the disconnects, the water cooler talk, what happened to, not seeing Scott every day, wink, wink, Scott, if you're seeing this, not enjoying that gentleman every day, not seeing him in his organization and the value that he brings just with his personality and who he stands for. And what happens to Mary Sue, who really depended upon seeing Scott every day to kind of help her, rhythm, or kind of help her be as best as what she could be that day. So the people impact is, I think, huge.
Very huge. And I think people had a lot of people had a hard time adjusting to it. Some of them didn't. A lot of it comes down to people's personality and what makes them tick, and how they work and how they operate, and are they self-motivated? Can they self-manage, or do they need that people interaction to just keep them going and keep
Right.
them on track? There's a million different scenarios, and I know I've talked to a lot of people who are just, even in that whole process of working at home, they're lonely. Like, they miss seeing people, they miss being out in public, they miss sitting in meetings. They're tired of Zoom. Zoom fatigue is a real thing.
It's horrible.
I know I'm tired of Zoom. I mean, for a while there, I couldn't wait to get to a client site just so I could be with people and see people again.
Absolutely. I'm kind of the same way. Sometimes you get distracted on Zoom. You have so many people around you, people behind you. Technology kind of always kind of cuts out with the internet.
And
voice.
it's funny, like if you're not sitting in the same room and having actual physical eye contact, it's like people don't think you're really there. And so the interesting things you see on Zoom
It is. Have you ever
is
had any?
quite funny.
Have you ever had any kids or someone walk around naked behind you on a meeting?
No, not to that extreme,
Me
but
neither.
I have sat in meetings and looked at people like, is he really doing that right now? Is this really happening?
Yeah.
Like, they don't realize you can still see them
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
crazy.
They think because you're behind a screen, it's not real or it's not happening or something. But yeah, I've been in some Zoom meetings where I'm like, what's going on right now?
Yeah. I feel like not really me so much, maybe a little bit, but you feel like there's fake conversations going on. The personality, the interpersonal relationships are kind of going out the window as you're having these screen-to-screen type meetings.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
feel as
hard.
real anymore. You can't read the room. You can't see their faces, their looks.
Mm-hmm. It's been interesting. It's been hard. It's been good. It's been fun. It's been a challenge. It's been exhausting. It's been a roller coaster.
We've been lucky though. We've practiced social distancing here inside the company. We've done, I think, well, but for the most part, I think our team's been together, I think.
Yeah, for the most part. There were a couple weeks where we laid really, really low, but we work in an industry, especially on the IT side. We work in we're essential services. Like, they depend on us to keep them running. It's actually interesting because during that whole time where people were completely appreciating nurses and, doctors and grocery store clerks and all of that stuff, which, don't disagree, highly deserve everyone's respect.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, what about IT?
Yeah.
Like, IT people are keeping this world running. If we didn't have IT people during this time, so many companies would have been hit so much harder. But I look back over the last year and I look at our clients and, how many people we helped get to the point where they could work from
Right.
home, get to the point where they had the technology they needed to keep going, get their clients the technology they needed to just be okay. I don't know what they would have done without our IT services.
Well, what's funny about it is I've seen and experienced so many people take advantage of their clients. I mean, companies out there that say, hey, listen, now you're working 24/7. You are literally spending hours and hours and weeks trying to get them operational kind of back in the March, April timeframe of 2020. And it completely just gave them the opportunity to really overbill and charge an enormous amount of money and really try to set these companies up. And these companies really had no ability to really pay. I mean, they were laying people off. They were trying to, just abide by the times, I guess, if you will. And they're getting these bills for, thousands upon thousands of dollars just to keep them in operation.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
No,
Makes my heart
that's
hurt.
hard.
I mean, how do people do that to each other? I mean, if you're a professional organization inside the IT world, I mean, your goal in the heart of hearts is to keep them running underneath all costs. And it's important for those relationships to exist, but it's also important to make sure that the companies partner with people that are truly in it for them and not in it for just the bottom line of the pocketbook. Because there's a lot of opportunity for, not really fraud, but just taking advantage of people.
Right.
And it's not right. Karma does come around.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's crazy. Yeah. In the middle of it, it's like we end up, building this place, what we call the Nest. And it's a wonderful place in the middle of a 20-acre cornfield in Lincoln, Nebraska, of all places. And it was an old outbuilding. Now it's a full-fledged operation, conferencing center, working space with all the folks here. And it's really bonded with us to help people bring everybody together here to
Yeah.
be together.
It's a much different environment than our downtown office because that is it's in the center
Corporate.
of several different businesses. It's very corporate-y. It's on the 4th floor. It just feels very office-y.
The lady that kind
And-
of screams at you out the elevator, not wearing your mask. She goes,
Yeah.
mask.
I got that today again.
Today, really?
Yeah. hmm
But there's nobody ever in there.
I know.
How do you always just meet up with her in the hall?
I don't know. I don't know how it happens. My luck.
You should probably be wearing your mask, though.
Well, I'm going up and going down and zipping in and zipping out.
And there's absolutely nobody
And
around you.
there's nobody there.
But you always bump into this lady.
Somehow I bump into her quite often.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. And she gets about, 10 feet past me and yells, mask. But
There you go.
okay. Anyway,
So,
as we were saying, the Nest.
the Nest.
Yes. So we work in this very corporate office building, and it feels so much different at the Nest because we've tried to build this environment where it's casual, comfortable, yet we have all the latest high-tech gadgets, and we have Zoom rooms, and we have new laptops, and
Max.
a lot of them are new.
Max.
Some of them, yeah, most of them.
Most of them. Sorry, kind of Mac fish. What's the word? Aficionado or
Aficionado.
yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kind of, once you go Mac, you never go back. So that's kind of my motto.
I'll never go back. I love my Mac.
I know. I do too. So but
yeah.
you build this environment, and you get the right mood lighting, you get the right decor going, and obviously you said all this high tech stuff, but really you go to Sam's Club, you buy a few TVs, and spend some dollars on some decent equipment for your staff or for people to work and get their job done, and kind of make it the best environment for them to do their work in. And it's kind of crazy. You throw a couple dogs out there in a cornfield and back, and it's amazing what happens. So
I think people like coming out here.
I think they do too. I mean, my goodness, we have people that drive up to 10, 12, 15 miles a day just to come out here. We actually have a gentleman that works for us who, Jason, actually, he's the executive director of Jason's Heart, which we'll talk about later, a nonprofit that we run. But he comes right here on pointing the right direction here. Actually, it's this way. depending on the camera and how the reverse of it. But this way here faces east, and he's out here before sunrise, and he's watching the
Yoga.
sunrise come up, and he bought himself a yoga mat, and he'll be practicing yoga out here every morning. So hopefully we'll get some good shots of him.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I might join him actually. I've been really wanting to try yoga. I mean, like seriously try it. Like I've tried it here and there and I thought I was going to die because it's really hard, but I think it would be really good for me.
If we do it, I'm honestly buying goats. I kid you not. I want goat yoga.
We're not doing goat yoga.
Having a goat walk across your back is going to be
No.
just
I said no to the chickens. I'm going to say no to the goats
no.
too.
There's no chicken. Ducks. You said no to the ducks.
I said no to the chickens.
Chickens and the ducks.
No chickens, no ducks. Probably no goats.
I like the goats.
We can only really handle our 2 golden doodles right now. That's about all we can take.
Yeah. That's not good. They poop everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, that's a daily chore.
It's a daily chore. That's about a 90-10 split right now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe an 85-5.
Yeah, 95. I pick it up.
Yeah, thanks to things like Zapier and these little text messages. Ooh, gosh, I gotta head out to a client meeting. Sorry.
Funny how you get away with that.
Yeah, isn't it crazy though?
Mm.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, back to the whole Nest thing. As we show you guys, we're gonna be podcasting, I think, from different areas in the Nest, maybe doing some different views of this place. It's crazy to believe this was literally a 3,000 square foot Cleary building that was in the middle of a cornfield about a year ago. And we're going to show some pictures here real quick. And Haley kind of do the magic of my finger pointing here, maybe pointing here, maybe pointing here, pointing down here, whatever we have to do. But it's unbelievable how this place got transformed. And it was largely Michaela and I that did this. We spent hours and hours and hours out here just, in our spare time, wink, wink, quote, quote, just building this place and putting it together, everything from the stain on the wood to installing pretty much everything. On the big heavy stuff, we had some help, but for the most part, it was built and created by yours truly. And it was our place to kind of call home and invite staff, clients, customers out here to really enjoy the space. So we built it for you, not for us. It's a place to enjoy and
Well,
play.
we really wanted to be able to have a space that our clients could come to and just decompress. Our business owners, our entrepreneurs, our clients work so hard day in and day out, and sometimes you can just see the fatigue. I mean, it just drips off of them sometimes. And we wanted a place where clients could come and just decompress and step back from their daily operations, the daily crap that we all get involved in and get sucked into, and just see the bigger picture.
It is. And, what I found out is that, for me, whenever I met with clients, I think you may have seen the same thing, but you're kind of in their home court.
Yeah.
And the constant interruptions they're having, whether it's, CEO of company X or CFO of company Y, you're inside their conference room, inside of their building. And the interruptions are just all the time.
Yeah.
Just knock on the door. Hey, just 1 second, Bob. I have a question real quick. Hey, we're having a production issue. And you can never really get that quality time with them. And it's like, how do you do that? But last thing we want to do is build this environment where we're an executive center and have an executive conference room and have all this nice stuff. It's just like you have to build this retreat. Kind of like you're going to a bed and breakfast and you're just out there. And
sometimes there's just that shift of environment.
Right.
I mean, sometimes I'll go to a coffee shop and I'll just sit there, and that total shift in environment, it changes your thoughts, it changes your creativity, it changes the way you think. And it's just nice to be able to have that space for clients to be able to come to. Everybody we've had out here so far, not a ton yet, just because of all this COVID stuff. But the people that we have had out here has just really enjoyed it.
Well, it's crazy. You drive up to the building or onto the property, and it's a long 1/4 mile windy road that goes up a little bit, and you see this outbuilding with 2 garages sitting there. And you walk
Looks
inside.
like a garage.
Looks like a garage. And you walk in, it's like you're transformed.
Yeah.
Crazy. Of course, our commute to work is pretty easy too now. Treacherous. I actually want to build a park, like a covered driveway.
That would have been nice when we had the 6 feet of snow that we didn't anticipate this
What's-
winter.
What's the cartoon movie kids watch? Not Incredibles. Maybe it is. It's the one where people of the future and they're kind of laying there in chairs, and then they hop on the escalator or the in-floor elevator thing or whatever, and they're going down the road. And was it Incredibles or
No, I don't.
Big Hero 6? No, I forget what it was, but it was the pure laziness. I kind of feel like that. Like I want to put an escalator from here to here. I just don't want to get up. It's doing work, and no, that's not me.
I like the commute, quote unquote, to work when it's 79 and the sun is shining and the sunrises and the sunsets are incredible.
They're incredible. You wake up, you have to beat them up. So,
Yeah.
anyways, crazy.
Well, that's the nest.
It's the nest. It's kind of
Lots of fun things have happened here already, and
lots of fun things.
I'm sure lots of fun things are to come.
Yeah, it is. So it's like, the wrap up is really just culture, people,
Yeah.
making sure that you can kind of take a good cross section between the two. You have wonderful people that work with you. You understand that relationship super well. You understand people that you work with, their personalities, their strengths or weaknesses, all the above. We've all heard everything in the past. But you also layer that in with the level of technology and making sure that, you do have the conveniences of today. And you have those two things and they're coupled together. And it's amazing the value or the productivity that actually happens in the back end of it. People just don't get it. Leaders don't get it nowadays. Some do.
Well, even at the point where we have everything automated in here to when you unlock the doors, when the doors
There you go.
unlock,
Get all up in that. That way the people can hear you.
when the doors unlock, 75% of our technology actually automatically turns on.
Yeah, it is nuts, isn't it? 7 o'clock in the morning, this entire place lights up.
And that's really silly to think,
Mhm.
okay, that's not necessary. That's just being lazy. Well, it's actually quite convenient because it saves us a lot of time from going around and flipping light switches and making sure this is on and making sure that's on and turning on the TV. And
Usually like $7 smart plugs too.
I know.
Nothing bad. You know the one thing I like?
What?
Every night before bed, what do you say?
Alexa, good night.
And the entire place shuts down.
Yeah.
The word good night. All lights, everything just turns off.
It's pretty nice.
Well, most everything, but we won't go there. See, we always gotta make one
Okay,
laugh.
wrapping up.
Go wrap it up.
Wrapping up.
Well, anyhow, big takeaway for the day: culture is very important. Technology is very important. People are the most valued asset that you'll ever have. Know your folks. Understand that they work for you. Actually, no, you work for them. Let's not confuse that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't want to confuse
Sorry,
that.
it's all left right thing with this whole camera set up. So,
Mm.
anyways,
See you next time.
yeah, well, catch you later.